Good morning, 0508, and it is Thursday, June 20th, and yes, I did get a haircut. It was time, and plus I have to go meet with a bunch of National Institute of Health people, and I wanted to look sort of professional. So, very good discussion, and great topics put forth by Pamela and Sandra, and speaking about the surgical thing, I've had 3 knee surgeries on my left knee, and I had a laminectomy in my right at the L4, L5 vertebra many years ago. So I've gone through the psychological evaluation of yes or no in surgery. I had very little choice when it came to my knee and back. Both were really bad, but you know what, I bounced back. Physical therapy is the key. Great topics too about not only just Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's disease, but really the end stages of these diseases and the caregiving that is necessary, the caregiving responsibility. These are not easy times for anybody. So very great, and I appreciate all the input from everybody. So now we move on, and we are going to be talking about a kind of a mixed bag of things this particular lecture. We're starting with the eyes, and yes, I do have presbyopia. These are my Costco cheaters. I must have 50 of them all around the house. I was 20/20 my whole life till about 44 years of age, and then voila! What happens is the long-lived crystalline... Maple, stop snoring. Come on. Sorry. Long-lived crystalline proteins in my lens, they become cross-linked, they become dysfunctional, and the lens loses its ability to stretch, and so you lose accommodation, and well, lo and behold, you become farsighted. So I can see everything far away. I'm sighted for far things, but it's the stuff up close that is really a trouble for me. Okay. So what can you do for prevention? Well, these are the key. Wearing glasses, sunglasses especially, it helps block UV light entering into the lens, which is a factor in terms of visual problems. Okay, the farsightedness, there's not much you can do about it, but the blocking UV light is crucial for the next topic, which is cataracts. And again, cataracts is an over oxidation and cross-linking of these crystalline proteins, and as a result, they cluster the proteins into these little occlusive bodies that are white, and so the light no longer transmits through these proteins. It actually bounces off them, and you get the scattering of light, which is the characteristic feature, diagnostic feature of cataracts. We go on then to discuss the other major eye diseases, macular degeneration, and there are 2 different forms, the wet and dry version. The dry usually precedes the wet. The dry is not so severe. The wet is really severe, and it can result in accelerated blindness, and so you need to take the bull by the horns with that. The only thing that really works in terms of prevention is to reduce inflammation, and there's lots and lots of studies out there. I'm sorry. Come on, Maple. Okay, stop snoring. All right, there we go. So you can take green leafy vegetables, high in antioxidants. You can take your omega-3s, and this seems to help. Okay. The surgeries are laser, where you photocoagulate the blood vessels, and there are certain compounds that you can do that are chromophores that absorb light more efficiently, so you can use a lower intensity laser. So you inject this substance into your vascular system. Visudyne is one of these substances, and so you can use a more of a cold laser and thus get less secondary damage to retinal cells. Okay, glaucoma again is the 3rd major one. Macular degeneration, you lose the center field of view as shown by the Amsler grid example. in the chapter. And with glaucoma, you retain the center field of view, but you lose your periphery. And this is due to pressure building up, and there are two different forms. There's open and closed angle glaucoma, and you need to look into that. It just has to do with the iris and how it basically closes off the spot where called the canal Schlemm, where you recirculate the aqueous humor. Okay, so then we go on to our urinary system. Really taps into male and female sexuality, male and female hormones. The scourge of the males are prostate, related to our production of testosterone. If you want to reduce prostate growth, you can block the testosterone's action with Proscar. And then if that doesn't work, you'd surgically go in there and ablate the prostate. And it creates urinary incontinence for women. Childbirth is a risk. Also going through menopause. Estrogen is your fertilizer, and so when you go through menopause, you lose this fertilizer, and it weakens the muscles down there in terms of your urinary system, and you can have stress-induced incontinence. I remember way back when my wife was pregnant, I went to the childbirth classes with her, and we practiced our Kegels. Yes, and so this is one thing you should do. You should, know that the muscles are going to weaken, know you're going to lose your fertilizer down there, and just have a daily routine. And that I'm pretty anal retentive, and so compulsive is another word for that. I get up every morning and have, like I said, about a 45-minute routine. And a big part of that is because of the back surgery that I had that I spoke of. And because of that, I'm still able to be really, really, really active. Okay. We then go on to sexuality, and a very, very important aspect of being a human being. Okay, and it never stops. Just because I happen to look this way, I'm going to be 57 here in a couple of weeks. You never stop being 20 in here. Okay, and so the very same needs that you have as a 20-year-old continue to persist. There's a reality check, obviously, as you get older, but you don't ever stop being that person. And so having the intimacy and fulfillment of sexuality is great, and luckily for us, modern pharmaceuticals is helping us out. I actually had the opportunity to sit down with the professor from UCLA that received the Nobel Prize for figuring out how nitric oxide works, specifically the chemical cascade that works on this one second messenger in cells called cyclic GMP. And because of his studies, lo and behold, he found this special chemical that inhibited the enzyme that normally does the Pac-Man on cyclic GMP. And lo and behold, that inhibitor drug became Viagra. So, great stuff. And then we finished up this this chapter looking at pressure sores. Good to know. It's kind of tacked on, kind of a little bit out of place, but good to know anyways. So again, I look forward to a nice lively discussion, and we'll see you next time.